YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about perks in Warzone. Probably the most annoying perk you'll ever come across is this perk here called Serpentine, whatever you want to call it. We've probably all come across someone using it. The most annoying thing you'll ever come across in Warzone. Usually you would beam these people and then they'll get away because they're using Serpentine. So how to beat Serpentine, you ask? We'll come back to that in the video. Just make sure you keep watching. So your meta at the moment, you want to be using the NZ41. I personally prefer the H4 Blixen, or you can use the Mark 05. They are the two best SMGs at the moment. Let's go for attachments. On the NZ41, you're going to be running the MX silencer still, which is your sound suppression, horizontal recoil control, vertical recoil control, and your damage range. Your barrel, you want the Orb Weaver 360mm BC, which is going to be highly accurate and controllable, reduced scope sway and gun bob, and your bullet velocity. Obviously, this is your sprint to fire and your hip fire accuracy, but you're not really using this for a close-up, are you? You have got two scopes you can use on this. Personally, I prefer the SVT 40 PU scope, 3 to 6 times optic, or you can use the good old G16 2.5 optic. The only reason why I use the SVT is obviously you can zoom in a lot more. It will give you a bit more visual recoil, but obviously if you know how to control it, you're sweet. Stock wise, you want the Orb Weaver EPAC, which is going to give recoil control, recoil recovery, accuracy, and flinch resistance. You do not want to use any other stock. This is the one you want. Perks, you want brace and fully loaded. Obviously, brace is going to be your initial fire and recoil control. This is why the gun does not move a single bit. Your rear grip, you want the hatch grip, which is again your vertical recoil control, horizontal, and flinch resistance. So obviously this is another thing that's making this gun not move at all. Even when you're getting shot at, you've got quite a lot of these attachments will give you flinch resistance. And then your magazine, so you can either run the 40 round mag or the 50 round. You've got pros and cons about both, but personally I run the 50 round mag. And ammunition, you want lengthen, of course, which is your bullet velocity, so it gives you a bit more range on the gun. And then your underbarrel, you want to run. So before you used to run the hand stop, which is vertical and horizontal recoil control, but now there's something about this underbarrel, the M1930 strife angled, which is just horizontal recoil control, but it makes the gun move less than the hand stop, which doesn't make sense. But it does hurt your ADS, but you don't really notice it, to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie. So obviously that is your NZ41, and then going on to your H4 Blixen, you want the recoil booster, the barrel, which is the Bergstrom 17 F3. Apologies if I say that wrong. That is for your recoil control and accuracy, bullet velocity, and your flinch resistance. Optics, you can run it without, but personally the slate reflector is super clean. I would 100% recommend running it. Stock, remove it. So that is your movement speed, sprint to fire speed, and your ADS speed. Obviously it's a close quarters combat SMG, so you want to be as quick as you can getting that ADS in. Perk, you want fleet, which is your weapon swap quickness and your movement speed. Again, close quarters, you want to be as fast as you can. And perk 2 quick, again, sprint speeds, you want to be as quick as you can in these close quarters. Rear grip, you want your taped grip, which is your aiming stability, movement speed, weapon swap quickness, and sprint to fire speed. Magazine wise, you want to run the 54 round mags, just because obviously the 72 it's overkill. 36 round, it depends obviously. If you're going solos, 36 round will be absolutely fine. You're gonna obviously, it's going to be a bit quicker than you would running a 54 round, but I don't really play solos, I despise it. But but yeah, run the 54 round mag. And then ammunition lengthened, which is your bullet velocity, and your underbarrel, the SG98 compact, which is your aim walking movement speed and reduced scope sway and gun bob. So that is your main class you want to use. Obviously, I'll give you the class for the Mark 05 as well, just because they are very close together. So you've got your recoil booster for your fire rate. It shoots incredibly quick anyway, so this is just very overkill, and it deletes people, trust me. For your barrel, you want the Amaretto 342mm 04P, which is highly accurate and controllable, bullet velocity, flinch resistance, and reduced scope sway and gun bob. Moving on to your optic. It doesn't really have the cleanest of iron sights, to be honest with you, so you do really want to run some sort of optic. Obviously it is a close quarters SMG, so you don't really want to be running anything like the G16 or anything like that. You want to be either using, personally, the slate refractor, the cleanest sight there is, or you got the NIDAR model, the monocular reflector. But it's all personal preference on what you prefer, to be honest with you. Stock, you want the, again, Amaretto FR, which is initial fire and recoil, recoil recovery, ADS speed, and your movement speed. Perk wise, you want momentum, move speed after kills. Again, you can have, to be honest, whatever you want. Gung Ho is pretty good. Unmarked or momentum, you don't really want anything else. Perk 2 quick, again, close quarters, you want to be as quick as you can into those gunfights. Your rear grip, you want the taped grip, which is your aiming stability, movement speed, weapon swap quickness, and your sprint to fire speed. Again, like I said, you want to be as quick as you can in these close quarters fights, just to get the upper hand. Magazines, you want the 64 round mag. Unless you are playing solos or duos, you won't need all the 64 rounds, so you could drop it down to the 48 rounds. So I don't really play any solos or duos, not often anyway. So I run the 64 round drums, which is obviously hip fire accuracy, recoil control, and magazine ammo capacity. Ammunition lengthened, standard on a majority of Vanguard guns, and underbarrel, you want the Mark 6 skeletal stock, which is your ADS speed and movement speed. That way you are on top of everyone first in a gunfight. So that is the Mark 05. Now, probably the moment you've all been waiting for is how to beat Serpentine. Obviously, you won't be able to use any Vanguard or Cold War guns to do this, but the M13 is still very, very viable in Warzone at the moment. So, for the class itself, you're not using, you would probably think that you would use some sort of perk to counteract Serpentine, but you don't. It's a perk in the gun. So obviously you got your monolithic suppressor, your Tempest marksman, your VLK, your 60 round mags. Usually you would run the Commando foregrip, and you would forget about a perk. So this is pretty much the exact same setup as you would do in previous Warzone, the OG Warzone with the M13, but instead of running the underbarrel, you would be running frangible disabling. Bullet slows down enemy movement and briefly disables tactical sprint when shooting legs. So obviously Serpentine only works when you're sprinting, tactical sprint that is. So to counteract that, you do want to be using this gun with frangible disabling, because this will disable the tactical sprint and say goodbye to Serpentine. But that is it for this video today. I will be doing some gameplay of using the M13 with the frangible disabling. So if you do want to see that, drop a thumbs up on the video. Don't forget subscribe if you want to keep up to date with everything Warzone, Call of Duty related, and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss a single video. Don't forget, at 100 subscribers we will be doing the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 giveaway, so make sure you are subscribed once again, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you in a bit.